Back here on SportsLine, talking about the Titans and the roster decisions they have to make. The big news today, obviously, Brett Kern, but a lot more decisions to make, offensively and defensively. How many guys are you going to keep? You can only keep 53 at the end of the day, and you really have to put the puzzle together about who's going to be available for you on game day. We went into those decisions with Jonathan Hutton last night on the Electric Power Company's Sunday Sports Central. We bring Jonathan Hutton back in to take a look at the Titans' offensive depth chart going into cuts. We hit on the QBs earlier, so let's focus on the wide receivers. And it appears there are 4 locks: Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook-Akina, and Kyle Phillips, who will also likely be the team's punt returner. How many receivers are you keeping, and who gets the final slots?
I'm keeping 6. You've hit on the main 4. This is their core group on game day. Racey McMath is also going to be on the roster. Special teams player, and he's grown considerably over the last year from his rookie year to now, using his big frame to go up and get the football. He's made some big plays down the field, helping them stretch the field during the preseason and during camp. And don't hate me here, but Des Fitzpatrick is on the roster initially. This is my Tuesday roster because I think after week 1, they're going to add another veteran, but it's more financially beneficial to wait until the season starts because it's cheaper. The contracts aren't locked in. Fitzpatrick doesn't deserve a roster spot, but I think he's going to get it just to hold a place for week 2.
Okay, quickly, running backs: Henry, Hilliard, Haskins, and Torrey Carter?
Yeah, I'm with you on that all the way, 4.
And then at tight end, you keeping 3 or 4?
I'm only keeping 3 initially because I like the 3-pack they have healthy.
So that would mean Tommy Hudson would be the man on the outside looking in. Up front on the offensive line, the starting unit is set with Lawan, Brewer, Jones, Davis, and now Petit Frere. So who else makes it as backups now? And does Dylan Radins make the team after being beaten out for a job once again?
So I do have Dylan Radins making the roster, and they need him. They're thin on the offensive line right now, Steve. So I have him as a swing guy on game day, but here's my pack. I've got 9 total. After Radins, Jones, who we've barely seen because he's been banged up, he can play guard. He's played every spot on the offensive line. Roos certainly has had moments throughout the preseason because of injury, so he's making it. And then Levin's the backup center. Ben Jones is always dinged up. They need him as well. That's my group initially on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely have to have depth on that offensive line.
2 former Overton stars put their best foot forward last night in an effort to make their hometown team. Theo Jackson recovered a fumble off a muff punt, and Ugo Amadi broke up 2 passes just days after being acquired by a trade from Seattle.
Felt good, you know, because this is my first time playing in the stadium. So, you know, just felt good to be out there in front of the hometown.
It's just crazy, like just learning the playbook, you know, meeting new guys, communicate with new people, getting a feel for everybody, because, you know, everybody's different. But for the most part, it turned out well.
Jonathan, this Titans defense sure looks like a top 10 unit on paper, but there appear to be some depth issues, particularly inside linebacker and safety. Where in your mind is this defense the most vulnerable?
For me, it's at safety. That's where they're continuing to search for the 3rd and 4th piece. A.J. Moore is a special teams player, but this is more than just special teams. That's why they traded for Tyree Gillespie and Ugo Amadi. This is about their sub-package defense when they go to 5 or 6 defensive backs. They're in need of a guy with experience who can drop down and play man-to-man on a tight end or diagnose a run gap and break in and make a big stop. They didn't draft anyone high enough to do that immediately, which is why we saw Robinson's urgency throughout camp to go out and make some moves, and that search continues.
Can you feel it? Just 2 weeks away from the opener against